After weeks of speculation, finger-pointing, and general bad-mouthing, the FIA has finally released its verdict on 2021's cost cap compliance. Whatever happened, it was always going to cause controversy, but Red Bull overspending by up to $7.25 million was basically the worst outcome. The legitimacy of Max Verstappen's Drivers' Championship title is now in question, and fans are demanding it be overturned. Is Verstappen about to lose his 2021 title? We think he might be. Red Bull have been found guilty of breaking Formula One's budget cap by the sport's governing body, the FIA. That was confirmed on Monday the 10th of October, when the FIA released its certificates of compliance for the 2021 season. Upon completing its review, the FIA found that 9 teams, including Aston Martin, were within the limits set by the cost cap. The exception was Red Bull. The statement from the FIA does not suggest by how much Red Bull overspent by in the 2021 season, although a minor overspend breach is within 5% of the $145 million limit, or $7.25 million. The certificates of compliance have been awarded to 7 of the teams: Mercedes, Ferrari, Alpine, McLaren, AlphaTauri, Haas, and Alfa Romeo, with Williams' earlier 2022 procedural breach mentioned. On that occasion, the team was fined for missing a paperwork submission date by 1 day, but were found to be within the cost cap limit. In the lead up to the release of the certificates, rumours flew around the paddock that Red Bull had overspent. Some suggested that the breach may have gone into 8 figures. Things got so bad, the FIA had to release a statement. As previously communicated, there has been significant and unsubstantiated speculation and conjecture in relation to this matter, and the FIA reiterates that until it is finalised, no further information will be provided. The FIA also reiterates that any suggestion that FIA personnel have disclosed sensitive information is equally baseless. We now know that all that speculation and conjecture was true. The question of how it got out will need answering, but right now we need to talk about Red Bull and how they will be punished. The FIA did not reveal the amount by which Red Bull exceeded the cap in its statement, how it had done so, or what penalties would be applied. It said it was currently determining appropriate action. Red Bull said in a statement that they noted the FIA's findings with surprise and disappointment. The team added, "Our 2021 submission was below the cost cap limit, so we need to carefully review the FIA's findings, as our belief remains that the relevant costs are under the 2021 cost cap amount. Despite the conjecture and positioning of others, there is of course a process under the regulations with the FIA, which we will respectfully follow while we consider all the options available to us." The others that the statement refers to are Ferrari and Mercedes. Toto Wolff has been insistent that Red Bull had exceeded the cap in the weeks leading up to the certificate's release. Despite Christian Horner's constant denial, Wolff has now been proven to be right, and is looking for Red Bull to receive the most severe punishment possible. Despite being able to overspend by $7.25 million, Red Bull were determined to have a minor breach. Potential penalties for a minor breach include a reprimand, a deduction of drivers' as well as constructors' championship points for the season in question, suspension from 1 or more stages of a competition, limitations on aerodynamic or other testing, and a reduction of the team's cost cap. The most important punishments here are the ones that could lead to Lewis Hamilton being awarded the 2021 Drivers' Championship. After the mistakes made by Michael Massey at the season finale in Abu Dhabi, many fans have continuously called for Max's title to be voided and awarded to Lewis instead. This news will only increase the volume of those calls. The FIA would be completely within their rights to deduct points from Red Bull, as even the most minor of minor overspends would have made enough of a difference to keep Max competitive throughout the year. I think the word minor is probably not correct, because if you're spending $5 million more and you're still in minor breach, it still has an impact on the championship, Mercedes boss Toto Wolff said when the allegations were first made public in Singapore. "We know exactly that we are spending $3.5 million a year in parts that we bring to the car. Then you can say what difference it makes to spend another $500,000. It would be a big difference. Every spend more has a performance advantage. If Mercedes spent $3.5 million on parts last year, and Red Bull overspent by $7 million, which they definitely could have, then they would have had triple the budget of Mercedes to spend on upgrades. Like Toto says, that definitely doesn't sound minor. That sounds like enough to decide the outcome of a championship. Speaking in Japan, Lewis Hamilton said even $1 million would bring a significant amount of performance. I remember in Silverstone, last year, we got our last update. I remember that was almost 0.3 seconds, and I'm pretty certain it cost less than $1 million, he said. It's so integral to the development race. If we'd had another $500,000 to spend, we would have been in a different position as some of the following races. Ferrari put the figure into other terms. They estimated what a minor overspend could get you in terms of brain power in the factory. They compared a 5% overspend to the wage bill for an extra 70 engineers. 70 engineers will get you a serious amount of lap time, said Ferrari racing director Laurent Mekies. This is why we are very much looking forward to a transparent and severe approach. Max Verstappen only won the 2021 World Championship by 8 points. It would be pretty easy to argue that 70 engineers, or triple the upgrades, would be worth over 8 points to a team. For now, we'll have to wait for the FIA to release more information, including what they decide the punishment will be, but this could be a lengthy process. With a World Championship title on the line though, you would hope they'll move as quickly as possible to punish Red Bull. Earlier on Monday, before the certificates were released, Red Bull team principal Christian Horner repeated his belief that the team were under the cap in 2021. We're very confident we're within the cap and within those financial regulations, Horner told the BBC. So we've been shocked at the speculation and accusations that have been made by other teams. We wait for the FIA to conclude their process and we wait to see what comes out. Anything other than compliance we'll be extremely surprised at. Since the certificates have been released, Red Bull have issued a statement saying they still believe that they are under the cost cap and will work with the FIA to review their accounting. This may lead to an appeal from Red Bull, probably on the grounds that the regulations aren't clear or that they're open to interpretation. If they don't think they can get out of the punishment, Red Bull will have the opportunity to enter into a settlement agreement with the FIA. In this scenario, a team accepts its guilt and the FIA imposes a penalty it deems appropriate. If a settlement agreement cannot be reached, the dispute will go to an adjudication panel of independent judges, who will look at the case and come to the conclusion whether the offence should be penalised. If the team is still not happy after that, it can take its case to the FIA's International Court of Appeal. Mercedes were prepared to take the FIA to court over the outcome of the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. You can guarantee they will already be doing the prep work to take them to court again, and if the FIA don't come down hard on Red Bull, then Mercedes will be headed straight to the International Court of Arbitration. The crucial part is that you have been over in 2021, then you've been over in 2022, and that means you have an advantage into 2023, said Wolff. If it is true they formulated a lightweight chassis this year, they may use it the next year. So it's really a cascade of events that can be influential on all of the 3 championships. This is heavyweight. It's massively heavyweight. If the FIA do decide to punish Red Bull with a points reduction, then that same reduction is likely to apply to this season as well. The 2022 cars were designed in 2021 and came under last year's cost cap. Like Wolff says, the cascade of events from overspending in 2021 could affect the competitive landscape until the next regulation change in 2026. There is no way of sugarcoating it. Red Bull are in huge trouble. The investigation by the FIA could be the single most important event in Formula 1 since the Crashgate scandal. That almost destroyed the sport, and if the governing body doesn't provide clarity on their investigation, its findings, and what punishment is given, then this could be the end of Formula 1 as we know it. What do you think Red Bull's punishment should be? Will the FIA give Lewis Hamilton the 2021 Drivers' Championship title? Let us know your predictions in the comments below, and until next time, drive safe and bye for now.